Welcome to this new series where we are starting in 1928 in realistic mode in Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. And for anyone who hasn't watched the introduction, this is what the map looks like, and this is a Three Rivers Valleys map which I've created specifically for this series, and it's available in the Steam Workshop. Now, I'm not going to give you any overview of the map, and what we're going to be doing is concentrating down in this bottom right hand corner, because this is going to be our first starting settlement. And this settlement has access to both a Soviet customs house here and a NATO customs house over here. And for anyone who wants to know, there's a power supply here, but that's off limits for this series. This is put in really for anyone who wants to do a later start. And what I want to do in this part is start planning our new settlement and the industries around here, because what we need to do is put together a settlement that's not both provides a worker base for expansion, but more importantly, an economic base for us to make money. So the main focus of this settlement is going to be getting big enough so that it can be self-sufficient in the basics, which will then allow us to progressively expand across the map. Now, so the first thing I want to do is plan. Well, let me just talk about what I've got in mind. Also, if you watch the previous video, you'll be aware that there's been some more changes to the road. And the reason for that is I was thinking about where I was going to put things, and I decided that I needed to tidy up these areas and have dual roads here, partly so that we can upgrade them later on. And what we got here is another dual road, which will allow us to upgrade the road here. The only real problem is upgrading this section of road, because there's only a single connection here. But I think I've got a plan that will allow me to do that. So that is the situation here. I think from the beginning, what I want to do is let's just get some basics out of the way anyway. I think the first thing I want to do is put in a free vehicle depot about here, so that I can bring vehicles out and allocate them. Wasn't flat, so I spent some more dollars on leveling. It's quite strangely, if you want to level at the moment, it comes off your dollar total. You can see here I've spent $132 at the moment. I don't really want to do that. And what I'm also going to do is put another depot over here for the Western customs house. The reason for that is that sometimes it's easier just to pull the vehicles out to here and then allocate them, because if you try and do it in the customs shed, it gets a bit tricky. Now, the next bit is going to be a little bit of a concern, because what I want to do is put free gas station, and I'm going to put it on this bottom area here. Or should I put it there? We'll put it there. A bit more money spent, because this is not exactly the flattest of areas. My main concern now is whether if I buy a truck over here, whether it would get over here to get to the gas station, because I don't really want to put a gas station over here next to this, because I don't want to spend too much on fuel. I want to keep the fuel fairly localized. So we've got a free gas station that doesn't need power, and then what I need to do is find a distribution office. And we're going to just set this up. I think I'll put the distribution office. Actually, no, we'll put the distribution office, if I can get it in green, about here. Now, the idea behind this distribution office is that what we've got to do is get fuel into here before we get any vehicles in. Now, I'm not going to set that up just yet, but what we're going to have to do is get a tanker into this distribution office, and their role will be to keep this full of gas. So that's the initial bits that I want to done. Now, strategy I've got is I want this to be a farming area, and I'd like to get this farm up ASAP, but of course on the 19th of March, and we're not really going to be able to get the farm working this year, although we could do with workforce. Would it be worth the efforts? I'm not sure. I think it could be a waste of dollars, because we'd have to use the workforce from here as workers. No, I don't think it's going to be worth the effort, to be honest. We'll just have to be very tight-fisted. And so what I want to do first is design the farm here. The idea behind this farm would be to produce enough crops so that we can possibly feed our community here and possibly even make a little bit of alcohol, which we can then sell, make a bit of profit. So let's just get this in. Now the next question is big fields or small fields? I think we're going to go with a few big fields, but we're going to need to be a bit careful because the machinery we got in 1928 isn't particularly that efficient. I think if we get, say, 3 big fields coming out that way, possibly 4. I'll put 4 in, but so we'll get 4 big fields that way. We could have a big field coming down here, but then we'll have a little bit of waste space there, won't we? Then we could, let me just see a medium field. Could get a medium field just in there. So if I pick up a mud road here, we can come off here, try and keep the junctions down to a minimum. I want to just come out wide enough like that. And we'll hook you into here. Like that. And then we'll put a medium field in. On it. Maybe if I put it in that way. No. Put it. Well, we're going to have the farm about there, so we might as well have the road connection facing that way. Problem is, if I do that, oh, we could put several medium fields in here, can't we? Actually, that might work because we could have the farm in here. Maybe if we put in there a couple of, will that come up, open up to a big field here? No, we'll put a medium field in there. That creates a little area here where we can put in the farm itself. We'll just run across. Hopefully that will still be big enough to get that in there. Now, next thing I need to do is think about storage. We'll probably have the farm there, but we need some storage. Now, storage is always a bit of a pain when it comes to farms, because you either get something that's gigantic in the mod things or small ones. I've got a small, let me just find storage in here. We've got a grain store here, but that's not going to fit with the 1930s. We've got these little small silos, but 50 tons is hardly worth. I think what we're going to have to do is just go with the game storage. So if we put a storage in, keep it, we may need to get this. And if I put a cargo shed, oops, cargo station, not shed, what am I on about? But it's cargo station maybe a little bit further forward, like that. Could I get another grain store just there? Kind of curve it out a little bit there. That actually connected? Nope. That's connected. Could then put that road out there, breaking up this road, which is a little bit of a cause for concern. That will give me storage for about 1600. And then I think if we leave a little bit of a space here, then we can put the farm in here. I must admit, I do like this tiny farmstead here. It's cheap. It's got 7 parking slots. Anything else? We've got a rural farm here. How many slots have you got? You've got 4. I mean, that's could work, but what I'm looking for, that needs steel. what we got here, large Tudor farm. This has got 30 slots. Wow. Well, that looks pretty cool actually, but I think to begin with, what we're going to do is go with a tiny farm here. And what we'll do is just push that out to leave a bit of space here. Because what we are going to need to do is we're going to need to get a free gas station out here. Actually, no, we don't. Not going to put a free gas station out here. So if we put the farm in there. Now, the farm... What else do we need here? We need a power supply. We're going to have to, and of course, we're not going to use power supply from the outside. So we're going to need a windmill. Oh, that's tiny. Use a 1900 windmill here. They're both 5 megawatts. So put the windmill just behind. That's quite cheap to build as well. We got a windmill, we got that there. And I think rather than use the free gas station, let me just come into here, because we're not going to use that much fuel, hopefully. What I'm looking for, there used to be, what happened to there? There used to be a mod that had, oh, it is there, farm refueling station. Put that in there. Just tucked into there, just there. This will hold 12 tons of fuel. I think we'll go with this one. I think this one looks better. So we'll put that in there because we've got the wind turbine. And then what we're also going to need here is a distribution office. We've got 2 silos with the possibility of, and then what we need is a distribution office. Again, we go for these ones. They're quite cheap. And we'll tuck that in there. Yeah, I think if we tuck that in there, that'll keep everything nice and compact. Because what we're going to do is use covered holes to bring the crops in. And then push that out a little bit there. And we'll put a road up there like that. And then I think I'll just plan a couple more fields, but I think we've got more than enough fields to be going on with. I'll probably put, would I want a road coming out here? My instinct says road out of there, so if we take out that there, I think I will put the road in. We'll just bring it out to here. And then what we can do is fit in a big field here. Get that in. And get it a little bit angled. And then I can add more fields as I need them, but I think that's probably good enough for a starter farm. And of course, what we're going to need to do is get this farm built before spring next year, so we can get the vehicles. Well, we need the farm, the fuel tank, and the windmill built before March next year. Actually, can I get a small field? Get a big field. I want to. No. Okay. What we'll do is put a medium field there, and then we'll bring that road round there into there. That's the farm setup. Now we can start working on our main village. Actually, what's the terrain like? So with the flattish areas here, we got kind of raised area here. Now we're going to need to get up into here to find some gravel. So let's just see if we can find a gravel location. Got 61% there. This is a bit steep. Let me just Got 84% there. I mean, if we could get down off of here, that would be brilliant. Okay, just gotta stay green as much as possible. Haha. Okay, this game doesn't want me to. That's it. I'd like to get 2 gravel if possible. Needs to flatten. Okay, we got source of. If we can get a second gravel. Okay, we're gonna have to just level that in a little bit there. We got 2 gravel pits here. Be nice if I could get another one. Whoops. That's only 32%. 36%. I think we can probably get away with 2 gravel pits to begin with, because all we really need is the gravel for construction. And then what we'll have is some form of small gravel processing here. That means we're going to need forestry out here and here. So I think what we will do, if I can find it, we're going to plant a whole load of pine out here, so that it will grow up over time. Of course, we got pine down here. Did we need it? Or coal, not pine. What am I on about? So that's that bit there. Now we've obviously got to consider the delivery distance into the village here. So I think what we're going to do is extend this road out. Press it twice. Oops. I want that, sorry. Second F1, so we've got a lock. And I think what we'll do is we'll just push this road straight out through the center there. And that gives us our main road in. This leaves this road here. I don't want to build the village along this road. And I don't want the village to be too big. It's got to stay relatively compact. But at the same time, I would like it to have a, how can you say, a range. Let me just measure something. Get that. So it's, we've got 250 that way. So if I put a crossroads about here, can bring it this way. I'm gonna put crossroads here, come that way. So we're gonna have a kind of traditional workers and resources town layout to begin with, and then what I'm gonna need here is a shop. What type of shop are we gonna put in? I want something that's in keeping with the 1930s or slightly rural look. So I don't want to whack down something that I would normally do. Let me just see. Shop. Don't want that. Corner market. That fit into as a prosperous new place. The only problem is it's got no connections, but it does take 45 food. But it's only got 2 delivery stops. We've got the old corner food store. This one doesn't actually, only takes food, and it doesn't take clothes, and it's only got 1 drop-off point. Got a Tudor market, which is, we have a traditional Tudor market in the center. It's got 20 food, 20 tons of, so it wouldn't need a backup store. That's not too bad. We've got the small shop. Now, the small shop is something I would normally use on a 1900 star. Actually, that one looks a bit better. Actually, we put this. Actually, if we push this out a little bit this way, so that, so I just had an idea. If based on my Four Corners series. What's the terrain here? It's a little bit icky sticky, isn't it? Rotate it that way. Let's turn that off. If I put the store in about there, so it's not kind of, because we're going to put industry here. Apologies, I'm getting a bit of a frog in my throat at the moment. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to put the store about here to a slight angle. Next thing we're going to need is some storage. I've just had a bit of an idea. What type of storage should we have? We've got a Tudor warehouse here. That could be quite... Yeah, because what we could do is use this as a general store for other stuff we're importing, like the mechanical components and electro components and all that stuff. So if we put that in there now, if we put the housing that way, so this is on the edge of the village, because what I'm thinking is, if I can remember where it is, as you might guess, I'm actually kind of making this up as I go along. That's it. Is it the sure there was a smokehouse, pot crusher, steel mill, old grain bakery, steel mill. Now I think that is what I'm looking for, but I want to check something first. Let me just go here. If you look at the food factory, if you get 42 tons of crops and water and you get 20, so it's a ratio of just over 2 to 1. And this actually, whole grain bakery actually needs wood, but what we actually get for 6 tons of crops, we get 3.6 tons of food for 1.5 tons of wood. Now we can harvest wood, but we also get 2.4 tons of pollution from this. So if this is the whole grain, it's definitely the whole grain bakery. So if I put it that way round, say, actually, if we put it down about here, extend that out a little bit, like that. Actually, if we turn it that way, no, the problem with that is that there's no footpath. So if we turn it that way, like that, because we can put the bread into the warehouse, stretch out a little bit so it's not so close to the locals. And then what we can do then is, I've got another warehouse storage thingy bob, wherever it is. Should we put that? These come left and right-handed, don't they? So what we can do then is put a warehouse there for crops. Now the only thing is, this whole grain bakery, we're going to have to deliver the logs. So we'd have to come out like that, and you'd have to come south like that. And then in some ways that'll work out quite nicely, because it mean there'd be no through road here. Let me just look at the factory again. The whole grain bakery. I mean, it can store 8 tons of wood. And then what we can do is take this road out, and that can go up into a forestry area there. So we've got this on the edge of town, right? So that gets our food supply up, but we do need to sort out a road connection here that will come down and possibly just come down in front of Okay. And you come down to there. You're hooked to there. You're hooked to there. So we've now got the store. I mean, of course, we've got all these battery connections which we have to build, which are going to be a real pain in the neck. But so we've now got this here. I think what we'll have is a bit of a town square for our residents here, and then we can push the education and everything else out around that. So this next thing we're going to do is look at the residential. Now I'm looking for a population of about what, 300-400 with room to expand. So we've got this here. It's a little bit heavy on steel. I mean, we've got some of the stable hands building. These are the ones with the Tudor look. Maybe we can. We've got 75 workers there. We've got these jade. And we got the jade 4-story apartments. What we got down here? Lease housing. What? Wow, that's tiny. Growers house. I spent a lot of time sorting these out, and I still can't make up my mind which one is. Tudor residence. Wine house. Old 4-story apartments. These hold 60 workers. Oh, these are small. But these don't have road connections. Let's zoom in. Would that fit in? It's a bit difficult to tell. Tan. These are old 5-story apartments. They don't take that much steel. They hold 75 workers. So 5 of these, and I've got to me 500, haven't I? Okay. Apologies for my indecision. I'm a little bit rusty on these types of houses. I want something that looks 1920s, 1930s. Old 6-story apartment. I think, but at the same time as I don't want it to look too rustic. Does that make sense? I think what we'll do is we'll put these in. They're not high on steel. This would be, these would be 90 workers. So I think what we're going to do is we've got the shop there. We'll create a little bit of a city centre just here like this, which gives a bit of an urban area look to the place. Let's say there. So that gives me about 480 people. And this would be the wealthy end of town. That's it. That's what I'm thinking of. Oh, what we got here? Yeah, I think. Where did this come from? Old corner block. Might get a bit carried away here. And again, I don't want them all cramped into the road. I want it spaced out. If we get an old corner block here, and will this fit? Oh yeah. I'm gonna zoom in really careful now. That says an old building block. I don't think that, does that really fit? That's the different way round. Is that a different corner block? Oh no, it's this way round, isn't it? So this is the front, which is what we've just put in here, I think. Yep. So that must be the back, and this must be the front. How many? We've got 90 workers in here. Right, what we're going to try and do is create some kind of front piece like that. With a little bit of collude. So get that there. That. I think we got it there. We got a kind of corner apartment block like that, just on this corner here. We got these blocks here. This hopefully will look pretty good when it's finished. So I think I've probably gone over the top, but I just want to feel that we could put utilities in there, and I just get the feeling that I need a little bit of a taper off here towards the shop here. So what we'll do is see if we can find something else that's we got Tudor residential. We could put a kind of I mean, what we could do is put in some. That's the old story blocks. I don't really want to use the old housing. Does that actually drop down? So these are the 6-story buildings. If we put in, that's the 5-story apartments. We got some Jade 4-story apartments here. One thing I am not looking at, I think if we put in, again, we're just going to keep everything nicely spaced out. Not it all bunched up looking. And then what we'll do is we'll drop in, how many people in this one? 80 workers. Yeah, I think that will. And then we'll just whack that round like that. Kind of stagger them a little bit. Something like that. I think that will give us our initial accommodation. Of course, the next thing I need to think about is a fire station. Because if we're building this, it could all burn down. So fire station, this is one of the reasons why I really like early starts, because with early starts you get a chance to kind of fiddle around with buildings and other stuff. Got parking for 3 vehicles, and what we got here is got parking for 6. Oh, that looks quite nice. What's the 21 tons? A little bit rich for me. I want to keep my costs down. Fire brigade only got parking for 1 vehicle. This one's got parking for 6, 21 tons of steel. Again, it's a little bit expensive. 3 vehicles. This one's got 4 vehicles. I think that will fit, and I think if we want to keep it close to where our workers would be, so I think if we put in a fire station just about here, it will fit in with the general feel of the city, or that town actually. What am I about, city? So we've got a fire station now. And of course, what we've got to do now is think about the amenities. We need to leave space to put water in and sewage, which is something that I'm looking at the fact how long I've taken to get this far. We're probably going to have to put off the next video. So I think in this part, we're just going to try and put together. Of course, we've got all the other things that we need to put in, like heating, but we'll just keep going with what we've got at the moment. How about a nice? Oh, it's a bit. Wow, looks tiny. This is a Tudor school. I know I've got schools in here. We've got a private school, which is, I think I've used before, and I think that's in keeping with the buildings. And so we can put a private school opposite these. Kindergarten. There is a nice kindergarten that fits this theme as well, if I can remember where it is. A village kindergarten. That doesn't look really that good. We've got an old nursery block, and we've got a corner kindergarten. It's not strictly a corner kindergarten, is it? Well, I don't know if we can get this, because we could line these up, kind of create the effect of a row, but that doesn't. I think that fits a little bit better. That's 11 tons. This is 8.3 tons. Push that there. Don't think that really fits, does it? Is it? Let me just see. I need to change the angle a little bit. On that, it might help us a bit of extra guidance. Zoom in. Right. I think so. Get the school and the kindergarten together. The roof line might be a little bit out, but I think I can live with that. And of course, we need to put in the footpath from there. Yeah, breaking up this road here, but I'm quite happy with that because we can keep this kind of semi-rustic as we go around. So we've now got the school, we've got the kindergarten. We need a hospital. Now the hospital could be a bit challenging. That doesn't really fit. I must admit, I did use the doctor's office with my Four Corners series, but I wasn't really happy with it because it's only got parking for one ambulance. So we may have to bend the rules a little bit here. That's too small. Small clinic. There's early European clinic. Let's have a look at this one. I almost need a reference. Good fit. Where would we put it though? We could put it over here because it'd be right opposite this road connection here. I think we'll go with this early European clinic. It's got parking for 2 ambulances. And this one's got 4 actually. What kind of strange multiple road connections. I actually quite like that actually. Let me just zoom in again, take a look. Yeah, I think we'll go with this one. And we'll just kind of tilt it out a little bit so that we can get a footpath behind, I think. Like that. So we've got education, we got clinic, we got fire station. What else do we need? Oh, we can put a church in. Cinemas. We need culture. Oh, we got my favourite, the old opera house. Yes. We can put the old opera house in. The old opera house is always a good for when you're starting out and you need something that's doing it, because the old opera house will sit 80 people. I mean a Paula Hall, and I mean another good one is the small theatre, but I don't think that really fits with what I'm doing. Where the old opera house does fit in with the kind of impression that we've got. I can do that. We leave a little bit of space so we can get a footpath across the back here should we need it. So we've got the old opera house. That would give us a culture. We got an old cinema building as well. Oh well. Oh, it's the old cinema. That's the old 150. I think 80 for the opera house. Now comes sport. Well, we got the Tudor Athletics League. What we got? A beach volley net. We certainly don't want that. Now, my favourite is the Athletics Club, but I'm not sure that would fit. This is a regular favourite of mine. This is a brilliant building if you're having a few problems with sport. And you can drop this in all sorts of small corners in maps, and it's hardly noticeable. But I think we'll use the Athletics Club. The Athletics Club is 48. Don't want the sauna. The Tudor Athletics Club is 48. I think this is probably a little bit more in keeping with what we've got going. We got that there. So we've now got residential, fire station, clinic, and culture and cinema. We've got our store over here, which is a little bit of a cause for concern because I don't think that reaches the end block, the last block over here. That could be a little, but so we're going to have to be careful with that there. Although if we upgrade the roads and footpaths, so what we may have to do is we've got a connection there. I put footpath through the back there. Get rid of the junk. That gets to here, but the problem is getting to this end block. But once we upgrade all the roads through here, I mean, the spacing is not too bad. So what I might do is actually gravel this road through first, or possibly gravel this footpath. That could be an early task when we're actually building. In fact, what I'll do is we need to gravel in these roads here down to here. So what we'll probably do is gravel the roads in before we actually move the population in. That could be an option. So maybe I don't need to add much more, because of course we've got to add heating, although most of these buildings I think will actually provide their heating during the first year. And I think all I want to do now is something just to get it out of the way before I forget. So if we come into here, what I want is a construction office. I'm gonna get a free construction office. We're just gonna put you there. Whoops. Right. We got. Did I put? And I've got a distribution office here. So what I want to do is set up the fuel situation. So we're gonna come in here. Gonna buy a oil tanker. Got this one, 3 tons of. What have we got over here in the way of oil tankers? Got 4.5 ton, 25 miles an hour. You're horrible. 4.5 tons, 50 kilometers an hour. 7.5 at 50 kilometers. This is a Mac AC. We got Williams Thunderer. I'm going to buy a Mac AC. And then what we're going to do is send you. Hopefully, if you don't get there, this is going to make life very interesting. Send you there. We need you there to get fuel in. So that's the first thing we're going to need to do. So we're just going to let the game run. Because he's going to take a very long time to get across the map. Just speed the game up. What I'll do is I'll be right back once he actually gets to the distribution office. If he does, if he doesn't, I'm in a bit of a problem. Well, it's a nice, neat looking little truck, isn't it? Because this vehicle needs to refuel. Haha. Hopefully he's going to do this. If he doesn't, we may have a bit of a problem. Houston, we do have a problem. I want to use him to fuel that, but he's run out of fuel. Okay, embarrassment. We're going to have to buy another oil tanker. We're going to have to buy this R3, whatever it is. Yeah, the distance was too long. Good to know. But we can fix this by sending you there. I mean, we're going to need one of these tankers eventually anyway for the farm. So 2 tankers here will be acceptable. And what I want here is we're going to set you everything there while we're thinking. Right, there you are. These trucks look so tiny on this map. That's it. What he will do is he will go out and put fuel in the gas station. And then what that will do is activate this guy. Now what I want to do is build a store so that I can gravel this bit of road here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get a storage area. Where is it? Storage. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drop this aggregate store in here. It's not actually, we can put a free one down actually. What am I on about? We can put the free aggregate store down. Put you there. And you're going to buy a dumper. Again, we're going to have to use this one. And what you're going to do is come here, pick up gravel, and you're going to deliver it to there, unload. And all I want is how much gravel in here. You can load gravel. And I want about 10%, no, 20% will do. Get you going. Now, build this, we're going to need an excavator. And to get an excavator, because we can't have no workforce and I don't want to use the truck, so what we're going to do now is come in here and we're going to buy an excavator. What we got here, this one's 20, this one's 8, this one's 18. Top speed 15 kilometers an hour. We're going to get an airy steam excavator, and that excavator is, now the downside of these airy excavators is the fact that they don't actually can't be carried anywhere. What are you saying? 30%. That's okay. That's good. What I want is I want to measure this distance here. We need about 50-60 tons of gravel, which is going to take a little while to build up here. It's going to take a blooming long time at 6. Wait until loaded. Don't want you bringing 0.62 tons of gravel into here. Actually, let's just get a bigger dumper from over here. That's what I should have done in the first place. Dumper, I want a fairly big one. Oh, look at this. We got one that's 50 kilometers an hour and carries 15 tons. Yeah, we're going to get you guys. I'm going to send you that depot. Oh, you haven't done this to me, game, have you? Miracles. Oh no, the steam shovel's still doing his thing. It's just that he's taking a little while to get there. Now that's the downside of these excavators, is that they are very slow. Well, actually, I would have thought you'd go to the gas station first. We've got in here, we've got 2.75 tons at the moment. So the next thing he's going to do is go to the gas station. In theory, what we should be able to do now is set him to pick up gravel from there and unload there. Comes our steam excavator or excavaty thing. Okay, welcome back. We're just moving the last load down into here. That should give me over 60 tons. What I'm going to do now is we're just going to upgrade this. This is 43 tons. And what we're going to do is let this guy get into here. Drop off the gravel. Yep. You can't lost, but that's okay. I want you to go there. and then we get you into the construction office, and then we're going to assign you to build that. And I think it's quite important to get this done because you can see the fiddling about I've got to be able to get to here. But once this is built, because we've got the multiple roads coming to this point, I can then work on graveling in these roads without actually messing about too much. Wow. It's taken a little while. This takes a long time to load up. What we'll do is get the first load of gravel dropped off into here. What we now get is our steam shovel. Will come out here. One of these will pick up coal. Something to look at. And what he'll do now is just work his way through building this gravel road. Right, here comes the last load of gravel. That means that this guy has now got this completely full. And I think what I'm going to do is just to get him to use up the remaining gravel, we're going to set that to there. Oh, he's off at the gas station, but we should have plenty of fuel for him to... Wow, he soon got all through all that fuel. How much fuel does he actually consume? Oh, it's a tiny amount. It's okay. And what I want to do is while the excavator is completing this, he can put the rest of the gravel onto this road here. And then what we'll do is we'll flip the construction office back onto the customs office to pick up gravel, because this isn't particularly that efficient with respect to storing gravel. Okay, oops, perhaps if I actually assign that. And what he will do is empty this out and then complain that there's no more gravel. Going to be just one load, isn't it? Because it's 15 tons. And there we are. We've now emptied this out. He can put the gravel into there. And then what we can do is remove this. I don't want it there. Just trim back this road here, like that. And just to finish the video off, we're wait for this guy to finish, and then I can do the necessary adjustments to the construction office, and then in the next part we're ready to start putting our little community all together. I'm kind of thinking maybe we can get a construction office over here to build the farm and the granaries using the workforce from here. That might be an option. What do you think, guys? Get Western workers to build this because they won't have so far to go, and all we got to do really is just drop a construction office down here with the necessary stuff. So what we need, that's just gravel and boards. This needs bricks, so we might need more than one construction office. We can get another excavator over here. Let's just see what we've got. Yeah, we can get another excavator because eventually I'm going to want 2 excavators. Yeah, I think that might be the way forward, that we actually use Western workers to build this, and then our other workers can start getting in and putting our town together. Anyway, I've finished the road here. What I'm going to do is just set the gravel back to there. And this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Hope you found it interesting. So in the next part, we'll carry on planning and filling in the details, because we've got power to put in, we've got heating to put in, and then we've got the water to sort out. We've still got lots of things to sort out, but at least from the next part we can get down to starting to put together some of the building, graveling this road in, because getting a decent speed, seeing we've got trucks, is going to be quite important. But until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.